Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Project Rewild channel. I'm your host, Molly Dorst, and today we're going to dive into one of my absolute favorite, and honestly, one of the simplest nature practices that you can do. It's called a sit spot. Here's the best part though. You don't need any fancy gear. You don't need hours of free time. You don't even need to live next to a forest. All you need is yourself, 10 minutes, and a place where you can sit and connect. I still remember the very first time I tried a sit spot activity. I was deep in the recovery process with long COVID. I was exhausted, I was frustrated, and honestly, I was just desperate for something to make me feel grounded again. I didn't have the energy to go hiking or canoeing or do anything big, but I could sit. So I chose a little corner of my backyard near a scrappy little tree, and I had never really paid much attention to it before. And at first it felt, honestly, it felt kind of silly. I mean, I'm just sitting there staring at a tree, right? Like, how is this gonna help? But then I started to notice the way that the light was moving across its bark. I noticed that there's this bird that would land nearby and it would hop closer to me, curious about who I was in his environment. I noticed my own breathing was starting to slow down, and 10 minutes ended up passing like a blink. When I stood up, I felt lighter. It was small, but it was powerful. That was my first sit spot, and it's something that I have returned to again and again. So what exactly is a sit spot? Well, a sit spot is simply a place where you return to regularly to sit quietly, to observe, and to just be in nature. It could be a forest clearing, a bench in your neighborhood park, or even your front porch with a view of the sky. The magic comes not from where it is, but from the practice of returning to the same place again and again, to slow down, to observe, and to connect. Now, you know me, I love the science, so here's why sit spots actually work. First, let's talk about attention restoration theory. It tells us that natural environments help restore our cognitive focus. Just sitting outside allows for our brains to recover from the overload of screens, from noise, and from all that multitasking. Secondly, we have to talk about the stress reduction theory. It shows that nature exposure lowers our cortisol, which is our stress hormone. So just 10 minutes of sitting outside can literally lower your blood pressure and your heart rate. Both great things, right? And here's the neuroscience of mindfulness. When we sit and observe without judgment, our brain activity shifts. We get more calm, we get more clarity, and we have more capacity to handle the challenges that life throws our way. All right, so let's make this practical. How do you actually get started? First, you need to choose your sit spot, somewhere easy and accessible. You don't need to be in the wild. You don't need to drive to it. A balcony, your backyard, or your local park works just fine. Second, you need to commit to a time. Start with just 5 to 10 minutes. That's all. It's consistency that matters more than length. A third is to engage your senses. Notice what you see, what you hear, what you smell, and what you feel. What's moving around you? What's changing from day to day as you visit that same spot? A fourth is to let go of your goals, because this isn't about meditating perfectly or identifying every bird call. It's about presence. Fifth, that tip's the most important, is to return often. Over time, you'll start to notice patterns. The same squirrel who always runs by, the way that the light shifts from the seasons, the cycle of blooms and leaves, that familiarity deepens your connection. I've seen sit spots work for everyone from stressed out professionals to kids learning emotional regulation. One young boy that I worked with, he chose a log in the woods as his sit spot. And every time that he was feeling overwhelmed, that log became a safe place. For my mom, during her cancer journey, her sit spot was actually indoors by a window filled with plants and a view of our beautiful tree. She'd sit and she'd watch the sunlight move across the leaves. Even from inside, it grounded her. And that's the beauty. Sit spots meet you where you are. So here's my challenge for you. Find your sit spot this week. Pick just one place. Commit to sitting there for 10 minutes a day for the next 7 days. You can do it. Bring a journal if you like and jot down what you notice, or just sit there and let the experience wash over you. And then share your experience with us in the Rewild community. We would love to hear where your sit spot is and what you've discovered, and bonus points if you even want to post a photo. Friends, the power of a sit spot is in its simplicity. It's the proof that nature therapy doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. Just 10 minutes a day can truly shift your stress, your focus, and your sense of connection. And if you want to go deeper, grab the resources that are linked down in the show notes and join us in the Rewild community at projectrewild.com/join. Until next time, remember, I love you, be excellent to each other, and I'll see you outside.